Encinitas, 30 miles north of San Diego, is a beach community. A Southern California town of sand and surf and flowers, the self-proclaimed flower capital of the world. For 3 generations, the Ecke family has bred poinsettias, supplying up to 80% of the world market. Just north of their Encinitas ranch, they've developed the flower fields, a springtime attraction which draws 150,000 visitors a year. The story of flowers in Encinitas begins with Paul Ecke Sr. Escaping from fast-growing Los Angeles, the Eckes moved to Encinitas in 1923. Starting with 40 acres, the dream was to make poinsettias everyone's Christmas flower and to make Encinitas a home for flower-growing families.
Times were much slower then, but it was quite rural. It all changed, of course, when World War II came. What we wanted to do was to bring other growers to the community so we would have some support.
We had a good life at the time of the war. My dad had already been president of different chapters of the Japanese American Citizens League. Of course, he was visible, very visible. So we were like the first family to leave Los Angeles. And the camps weren't even really ready yet. When we came back after the war, at first my dad worked as a fry cook, and one of his really good friends was managing a gardenia place. He said, if you want to take over that business, you can try that. And that's how we got into the flower business.
So my father was able to convince the Tayama family to come down from Los Angeles. Tammy and Joe are still operating the greenhouses and growing orchids.
He just wanted to start this ball rolling of having Encinitas be the flower capital of the world.
The reason we came down here, of course, was that Paul Ecke, Senior and Junior, and they said, oh, come down here, Bob. The climate is perfect. We get lots of hours of sunshine. The water is good.
When we first came to Encinitas, it was part of the county. We weren't a city. It was rural, beachy rural, which was wonderful, raising children and raising flowers. I think originally the part about this business was that it was small business and that it was all families, even the retail florists, it was families.
Managing a business is one thing, but in a family company, knowing when to hand over the reins is something else. Each generation has to adjust to new leadership and new ways of doing business.
My mother is very fun, very creative, disorganized. Ideas stream out of her head, one after the other, and we have to contain her and say, okay, out of those 6 ideas, which one are we going to pick?
Most of the time, we just divide up who feels like doing something, who's going to be the better one. And sometimes there's a bit of pushing and shoving where we're trying to push the job off on the other one. Mary came into the business because she loved it, and all the kids love plants. But she wanted there to be a Widener after Bob was gone and after I'm gone someday.
My father wanted to be involved in all the decisions. I had then determined if my son were to come back that we'd figure out a way that I wouldn't be in his way too much.
My dad was more of a one-man show. You know, I don't want to say dictator because it wasn't a dictatorship, but it was more like that.
Yes, it is quite a challenge to move from one generation to the other, particularly if the older person is still physically around.
Officially, Paul Jr. retired in 1991, but he was always eager to meet the public and brag a little bit about the newest poinsettia variety. For the Eckes, the key to the future is having 50 new kinds of poinsettias in the pipeline.
The market is about 75% red, and the other 25% is now made up of white, pink, marbles, and the newest one, which is some would call purple. It's called plum pudding. Women seem to like this. the problem is that our customers are growers,